Hello, I'm Stephanie Willoughby, and I'm coming to you from my home studio in Glen Ridge, New Jersey. This week, I spoke with two business owners to talk about how their businesses have adapted during the COVID-19 crisis. With so many events postponed or canceled, TAPintoTV takes a look back at our past coverage of the New York Auto Show. But up first, Brian Brodeur speaks to world-renowned musician Mike Keneally.
It is my absolute pleasure, my honor, to be joined today by one of the world's finest musicians, Mike Keneally. Mike, thank you for joining me.
Golly, Brian, thank you. My pleasure, and thanks for that intro.
You've played with a ton of people, starting really getting on the map with being in Frank Zappa's last touring band. And you've played with incredible people like Joe Satriani, recently Devin Townsend. Would you give me a little retrospective of your career? Give me a little retrospective, please.
Okay, well, certainly in terms of anyone being aware of me or what I do, Frank Zappa was the first thing that thrust me into any kind of spotlight, which is a pretty unbelievable way to start a career, because he was who I grew up idolizing from the time that I was 9. And then I stayed involved in the Zappa orbit until around the mid-90s through projects with the Zappa family and being in Dweezil and Ahmet's band Z for a number of years too. And then in the mid-90s, 96, I joined Steve Vai's band, played with him until the early 2000s, just focused on solo work for a few years until I joined this band Death Clock, which is an outgrowth of the Adult Swim show Metalocalypse. And while I was in Death Clock, Joe Satriani came calling. We had known each other from when I was in Steve Vai's band, and we were touring on these G3 package tours. So ended up joining Joe's band and recording and touring with him for 9 years. And then just last year started touring with Devin Townsend because I co-produced his most recent album, Empath, which is one of the things that I'm most grateful for in terms of projects that I've been involved with in my life. I love that album. I love working with Dev. So that's I guess that's the thumbnail sketch, but I've worked with a lot of different bands in the studio, a lot of different artists. So it's pretty amazing to me that I'm now in this position of being able to do projects with people like this.
Tell me about MFTJ. Tell my audience what it's all about.
Okay, delighted. Scott Shore is somebody that I met through Marco Miniman, who was the drummer in Joe Satriani's band, and also did a huge amount of work with me on albums like Scambot 1 and Wing Beat Fantastic. So he was working with Scott Shore and Scott's label Lazy Bones Recordings, and Scott was living in New Zealand at the time, and Satriani was coming through town. And so just went out to dinner a couple of times with Scott Shore and just hit it off on a personal level. So he said, what if I send you these rhythm tracks that I'm doing, and you just go in the studio and just be completely right-brained about it. Don't worry about writing, so to speak. Just I did a day of that, of just the guitar and keyboards on 11 tunes. And then I sent those tracks back to Scott Shore, because he was living in Australia by this point, recording in the East County of San Diego. So being together in the same studio at the same time wasn't an option. We have to work remotely. But it really worked in the case of this project. I sent him those tracks. He then did the thing that he does, which is go put on his mining helmet and find the gold nuggets in all of this stuff and turn those things into hooks. And the end result is nothing like either of us have ever heard before. It's really uncategorizable, but it's because his rhythm tracks have so much propulsion and coolness to them. It really moves, It kind of fits into a thing that I've noticed over the last, say 15, 20 years of more. You can really get away with a lot musically if it's and texturally and sonically, as long as there's this forward motion, this propulsion to it. Modern pop music is not safe the way it used to be. Maybe now certain things have become codified and stuff, but it's still, if you compare what the modern sonic palette is compared to what it was 40 years ago, pop music is a lot more abstract and peculiar now, for better and worse. I do think in some cases the ability to just write a song is not venerated in the way that it used to be, and of course there's a part of me that would love for just like good old fashioned songwriting to be respected in the same way. But there's this other thing that's been going on, and I think MFTJ is not a songwriter record. Right. It's a sort of like an adventurous sonic experience that has a lot of life to it, just a lot of vitality, a lot of humor, and I think that it comes down to Scott Shore just being really crafty and creative with just this huge bleh that I provided. I gave him like a vast well of stuff to draw from, and he created really interesting, fun tracks out of it. And it's this, I think it's a breezy listen. It's 10 tracks. Mm-hmm. It goes by in 40 minutes. Like good old fashioned album length. And because it's not hugely long, I find that when it's over, I want to just go back to the beginning and start listening again. Right. So I think it's just a really cool record. I'm really happy to be involved in it.
So where can people find more information, but more importantly, where can they buy the download of MFTJ?
It's only available on Bandcamp, mftj.bandcamp.com, and that's the only place that it's available. It is fun music that is adventurous, but it has aspects of the bizarre, but it's not overly bizarre. It's just fun, Please check it out.
To watch more TAPintoTV videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel at TAPintoTV.
This week, I spoke with Kanibal Co. of Jersey City and Materas on Park in Rutherford, discussing how their businesses have adapted during the COVID-19 crisis. Hey, Kristen, how are you?
Hey, Stephanie. Thanks so much for having me on. How's it going today?
Good. I'm thinking about you. I've been thinking about you. How's everybody feeling? How are you feeling?
I think that, the overall feeling I know from a lot of people I've spoken to and where I am here is that, we're just taking it day by day. Health-wise, we're doing well. My family's doing well. My extended friends and family are doing well. So I have a lot to be thankful for. From a business perspective, especially in New Jersey here, we just don't know where we stand. So it's been a little difficult to plan because as a non-essential business especially, we had to shutter in early March, and we are able to operate online sales and ship out via USPS. But when we'll open our doors again, when we can make those customer connections in person again, is still very unknown.
For those people who are watching who aren't familiar with your business, can you tell us about your business and tell us a little bit about what you do there and, the different people that you work with?
Absolutely. Over here at Kanibal Co, we've been a brick and mortar shop for just over 10 years, but we actually started online at shopkanibal.com. We have always really thrived over our foot traffic that comes in the door. We've got an incredibly supportive community here in Jersey City. And what we do is we focus and feature a lot of small businesses here in the shop. A lot of our staff members are artists, as well as owners of small businesses here. And then on a monthly period, we host different workshops where 100% of the proceeds always goes back to the local artist teaching. And so when we got the notice that non-essential businesses had to close up, of course, your first thought goes, what does this mean and for how long? And then my second thought is, oh my God, all of these businesses that we have this direct kind of like chain of command with and relationship with, how is this going to impact them if we're unable to continue to write those checks? How is this going to impact my staff who also sell in the store and so receive, revenue from me in 2 different ways, sometimes even 3 different ways if they teach workshops? How is this going to impact their daily lives? And so I almost had to, you hear a lot of people saying like pivot your business. But for me, it was really going back to the roots of my business, starting out online.
I am so interested in how quickly you made that pivot. For me, I feel like I am sort of just still in shock. And it took me a little bit to be like, okay, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do as a small business owner? And I'm watching you, you're like killing it. Like, I feel like you, even everything that you're saying, you just made really quick decisions. How is that, like, was that easy for you to do? Was it just like natural? Is this from like your background, from your job before you had the small business? Like, how did you know to make that shift the way that you did?
For me to make the decision to continue to operate in this way that felt both safe but also beneficial was an easy one, because I knew that I had to do whatever I could do to keep, number one, our staff members, employed, and then number 2, to be able to continue to funnel money to our vendors. And in that way, I do feel like being small still has such a huge impact, but also being small allowed me the flexibility to make those changes quickly. I didn't have any other chain of command that I had to go to. There wasn't any board meetings I had to sit at. I literally sat down with our one full-time staff member, Erin, who you met, and I said, I think this is what we should do. What do you think? And she said, that sounds great. Let's go. What can I do? And the 2 of us put together a plan, and we've been implementing it every day since. We knew there were certain people that we had to reach out to quickly and say, can you fulfill these orders if we wanted to do it? And it just is a testament to all the really great relationships we've made, that all those other small businesses that were really featuring on our Instagram and featuring on our website all turned around within 24 hours and said, I'm game. Let's go. How can we get you product? What do you need? When do you need it? When can we get it for you? Do you need net 30 terms? Do you need us to drop ship things for you? How can we make this as easy as possible? And that first week I was on the phone every day, just setting up those relationships and that supply chain. And, that is how we've been able to do it, is because we're a small business fueled by other small businesses.
It's incredible. When I saw you last, we spoke a lot about your store being kind of an ecosystem, and how every little bit of what you do, it is dependent on the people that you work with, and they're dependent on the folks that they work with, the supplies that they're getting. And in my heart, one of the things I love the most about you is just that I feel like you generate so much good energy. And I know you said you don't have dependents, but I feel like your quick action was because you have this personality and this spirit that really lends itself to others. I don't think that you could do what you did just for yourself. I think it's because you do represent these other artists in the community, and you do see their importance, and you see your importance within Jersey City. And it's really incredible to watch unfold. I did want to ask you, Kristen, this is now your second disaster that you have had to live through as a small business owner. Knowing everything that you know now, would you still choose to be a small business owner?
Oh my goodness. I think without a doubt, that's not even a question I have to really think about. Very similar to what you said about, waking up and really loving your work so much that the sadness that's in your heart really comes from the fact that you can't continue to do what you love. I think in those early days of this, my biggest fear was not for myself. It was also just a feeling of gratitude that I have been up to this point so lucky to be able to wake up every morning and go into a job that doesn't feel like a job and work with people that I love so dearly. And Really, we've got such a beautiful family here. I know it seems very cheesy to keep, pulling out my little violin and playing along down that song. But at the same time, I think being a small business owner allows me a lot of freedom to do what I want to do, but then also support the people I want to support. And I don't know many other businesses other than entrepreneur or small business owner that really allows you to make those choices in your life. I don't want to keep on going through these disasters, but at the same time, bring them on. Let's see what happens. So I hope we can just keep on coming out of them stronger with a little bit more knowledge and better prepared for the next one.
Whatever is to come next, I hope that you guys are here and standing, and I hope people will get out and support you and other small businesses in Jersey City. And I just deeply appreciate your time and just getting to see you and check in on you.
Thank you again for chatting with me today.
Bye, Kristen.
Bye. Have a good one.
To learn more about Tap Into TV, visit TAPintoTV.net.
We are here for you like we always are. That's what we do.
We are overwhelmed by your support.
Your donations, masks, signs, they lift our spirits. Keep them coming.
We're doing everything we can for you, but this is what we need from you.
We need you to help us. We need you to listen.
Lávese las manos.
Stay home.
Maintain distance.
These are things we can all do to help each other.
Because we are all in this together.
Tap Into is a network of more than 80 franchise local news sites with more than 10 million readers. Bring local news to your community while owning your own business. Tap Into provides you with the training, support, and technology to help you build a profitable business. To find out more, visit www.starttap.net.
Hey, Erica, it's lovely to see you. Thanks so much for meeting with us this morning.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So, Erica, we would love to hear more about your business and how you have adapted that business model during the COVID-19 crisis.
Our business is called Materas on Park. It's located in Rutherford, New Jersey. We are an Italian market and catering company, and we are doing well. Thankfully, we are considered essential, and it's all because of our Rutherford residents and the surrounding communities. When this all started, we had to restructure our business plan. We had the conversation about empathetic retail, creating bundles of food for people that maybe have lost their jobs, their income has changed. We've put everything in freezer safe containers so they can stock up their freezers. They don't have to go out as often. Maybe they are older, someone's taking care of their parents. We have everything on our app now. We have a Materas on Park app, which makes it easier for people to just click and buy. They don't have to worry about coming into the store, shopping through, dealing with, face-to-face contact with people. We built a curbside window so people can just pull up and we just hand their bag to them right through. There's no more coming inside.
I know that you guys have done a lot of outreach within the community. I know that you're offering certain things for families like pizza making or pasta making kits rather,
yes.
And your t-shirts. Can you tell us a little bit about those things?
Sure. We have pizza making kits, pasta making kits, everything that we make, we're offering, and trying to make a memory out of this whole thing, more so than a stressful time. We've also started our hashtag 07070 strong t-shirts. With those sales, they go to our first responders program, which is something that we've started with ERA Justin Realty. If you purchase a t-shirt or if you purchase a meal on our app, that money buys an officer, a firefighter, a nurse, or a doctor lunch or dinner for the day.
It's so neat to be able to help the people that are helping us to get healthy, and to get the country back open. I love that you guys are able to do that. And I love that you're there and you're working within the community, doing what you can do, which I know is limited, right? It's not the same business that you had a month ago.
Right.
What are the things you think that you'll take with you moving forward?
I think realizing what an actual necessity is for people, simplifying things from here on out has been a blessing, to be honest, because it's really considering what's essential for the customer. A lot of little things that are extras are always great, but it's like, no, this is what's needed and this is what we can give you. Like I said, we did things now that come in freezer safe containers. We've bundled a bunch of meals together that's cost efficient, and it's actually great for meal planning. It's great for portioning. It's great for the long run. That's something that we want to make sure that people are well fed with our food and love it so much that they return. So I think that's something that we've realized that will stick around.
Erica, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you so much. You have a great day.
To watch more Tap Into TV, follow us on social media at TAPintoTV.
Unfortunately, the New York International Auto Show had to postpone this year, but let's take a look back at Tap Into TV's past coverage of the auto show.
The 911R is also derived from our racing history. So in 1967, we had a 911R actually being really successful also in racing. And we thought there's a lot of opportunity to bring that story back onto the road with modern technology. So it's a 500 horsepower, naturally aspirated 4-liter flat 6, 3.7 0 to 100, 200 miles top speed. And it's sold out. So we said that it's going to be a limited edition, 991 cars, and they were sold immediately. We're very excited. We have 4 premieres for North America. We have our track machine, which is the GT3 911. Over there, red and beautiful. We have something very new to this market for Porsche, which is the Panamera Sport Turismo. We have a Panamera, the Turbo S plug-in hybrid, 680 horsepower, 3.2 seconds 0 to 60, and very efficient. And then last but not least, number 4 is the 911 GTS. 450 horsepower, and well, I'm not neutral, but I call it very beautiful.
Okay, so the 2 cars that you see behind me are entered in the IMSA racing this year. And the front car here, the exciting one, the Team Penske, is the ARX-05. So we started it this year. We have a partnership with Mr. Roger Penske himself, and we're so excited that he partnered with us and that we're racing. The car in the back over there is the GT3 NSX. This brand is now selling race cars. We're going back to our roots, which is precision crafted performance. And I think that's the most important part, is that we're grounded in performance. We're in the performance division of Honda, believe it or not. And that's where it actually comes from. And so when we decided to go back to that, first thing we did was commit to an NSX as a halo vehicle. And obviously we had to go racing. Now, with that racing, within a year, we did very well the first year with the GT3 NSX. We've upped it to the next level, which is a prototype that you see here. And it just feeds off and just kind of plays up the true intent for us to be known as a performance brand. I've been with the company for 29 years now, but 26 years of that, I was a car designer. So I joined the company 29 years ago as a car designer, wanted to make NSXs and Integras and whatnot. I was awed by those vehicles. This brand is exciting. It's about performance, And those are things that I'm very passionate about. 3 years ago, they decided to kick me over the fence over to the sell site. When we came over, it was exactly the same time that we really wanted to refocus ourselves to precision crafted performance again. So I've been working very hard to get that energy back, to the kind of feel, the look and feel that we had, that people always talk about. You know, when we talk about Acuras, there's a lot of warm and fuzzy stories that you hear about Integras and Legends and things like that. But that feeling, I think, is very important. And I think that's what we're really focused on doing, is bringing the next generation of vehicles. From a car guy, car enthusiast person, I mean, racing is everything, right? That's all we drew when we were kids, was just drawing race cars over and over and over. But what they see that race cars do, a designer would try to put, like, for instance, even with the production models like the RDX, there are features that are on the NSX that are there to help have airflow better over the wheels and things. And those are cues that you would take from a race car that you would put onto an SUV. But those are typical product design kind of guy thing. You know, it's like you want to make a very exciting performance vehicle. And I think the future cars at Acura for sure will be performance oriented and they'll look and feel the part.
2018 is a fantastic year for the Land Rover brand. On August 30th of 2018, we're actually going to be celebrating the 70th anniversary of Land Rover. So you can't talk about Land Rover without talking about the iconic Range Rover brand. The very first Range Rover was actually a 3-door. It was the world's first luxury SUV. And here we have a really special vehicle at the New York Auto Show. It's the world debut of the SV Coupe. Highly exclusive vehicle. It's going to be going on sale this year, and it's probably the most fitting way to celebrate 70 years of Land Rover. Range Rover is very proud to receive the World Car Design of the Year award at the New York Auto Show this year, a great recognition for the design team's efforts in making one of the most modern and beautiful looking crossovers in the business. The Range Rover Velar just went on sale in 2017. This really is the future of Range Rover design and the Range Rover brand, and we're really happy to have received this award here at the New York Auto Show. So a really shocking development for the Jaguar brand, something that really kind of catches on with the current events of the situation, something that we are really charged up about is the brand new Jaguar I-Pace. It is the first all-electric vehicle from the Jaguar Land Rover brands. With the home charger, overnight charge, basically you could probably drive almost all week on a single charge with this vehicle. It's a great design. Our designers are really proud of what they've done to take the Jaguar design language and really kind of bring it into the modern electric world. So it's a really interesting vehicle from a design standpoint, but the performance is going to be outstanding as well. 2 permanent magnet electric motors, 1 at each axle, so you have all-wheel drive. Over 500 pound-feet of torque and almost 400 horsepower, which means a 0 to 60 time in only 4.5 seconds. That is truly electrifying performance from this vehicle. It's a world first, the world's first all-electric mid-size crossover, and it's coming from the Jaguar brand, something that we're really proud to be leaders in this industry on. So just this week, Jaguar announced a partnership with Waymo for the world's first self-driving electric vehicle. But at the other end of the spectrum, Jaguar also introduced to the New York Auto Show this monster behind me, 550 horsepower F-Pace SVR. So whether you want an autonomous drive or the thrill of driving a Jaguar, Jaguar really has the complete lineup. It's one of the exciting parts about the expanded lineup that Jaguar's been able to introduce in these past few years. So as I said behind me, this F-Pace SVR, 550 horsepower from a supercharged V8 engine. You also see some neat aerodynamic details on the car, which help it achieve a top speed of 176 miles an hour. All for a starting price of only about $79,000. This is going to be one of the most exciting vehicles that you're going to see on the road, with performance and looks to match. The E-Pace extends the Jaguar lineup into another crossover. So we have the E-Pace, the F-Pace, and the I-Pace for our Pace family of crossovers. Even though it's a crossover, it still performs, looks, and drives exactly as you would expect from a Jaguar. It looks like a Jaguar, it drives like a Jaguar. You feel special when you drive this car. We think it's going to do really good things in the marketplace for Jaguar, extending us into a new segment that we've never been able to compete in before, bringing the Jaguar brand to a new set of customers. So it's a product we're really excited about, and it's just gone on sale. Just this week, Jaguar announced a partnership with Waymo, the world's leaders in self-driving vehicle technology. Waymo has over 5 million miles of autonomous driving under their belt. We're so proud to be working with them because they are the industry leaders in that space, and Jaguar are the industry leaders right now in this push towards electrification. It's a really exciting development, and for the Jaguar brand, we see it a way to give our customers back something that is the most valuable thing to them, and that's their time. Jaguar believes in the whole spectrum of driving when you want to, but being the passenger and getting that time back when you don't. That's, to us, is the future of mobility.
Thank you for joining us. Tune in next week right here on News 12 Plus.